Okay, so let us start the class here now. So I hope the slides are visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So in the last class, uh, I think we had discussed, how to calculate this barrier potential. So we found that this barrier potential is dependent on the doping concentrations in p-type and n-type regions. Okay. So we had found a relationship between barrier potential and the doping concentrations in p and n regions. Okay. Then from this barrier potential, we had also found a relationship for the energy barrier. Right. And we found that the energy barrier in the energy band diagram for holes. Right. So this is for energy barrier for holes, and this is equal to EVP minus EVN. Right. So if I go back to this, so this was EVP, that is valence band energy level in p-type semiconductor, minus EVN, that is valence band energy level in n-type semiconductor. This is for holes. Similarly, the energy barrier for electrons could be found, and that can be equal to ECP, that is conduction band energy level in the p-type semiconductor, minus the conduction band energy level in n-type semiconductor. Then we also discussed about the space charges at the junction, right, or the depletion region, or the depletion charges across the junction. So we had talked about this also, and we said that these two charges in these two regions have to be equal. That is, the positive charges on the n side, and these are ionic charges. So positive ion charges on the n side should be equal to the negative ion charges on the p side. Right? Positive charges should be equal to negative charges across the depletion region. Right? So if this doesn't happen, we said if it is not so, then this electric field, so this may not be contained in this region. So this electric field may then penetrate into p or n type region, depending upon which type is lightly doped. And we considered one example also. And then in that example, we considered that the depletion region widths are initially same on both the sides. Right? So we considered in this example that the depletion region widths are initially same, and the doping concentrations were that n-type was heavily doped and p-type was lightly doped. Right? And we considered that initially both the depletion regions are same. And then we found that total charge towards the n side, so that will be larger than the total charges on the p side, because n type is heavily doped. That is the donor concentration, that is concentration of donor impurities per centimeter cube. So that is larger on the n side. So obviously when all of them ionize, so I'll find that I'll have more charges in the same region on the n side compared to the p side. So then obviously if this principle has to hold, that is total positive charges equal to total negative charges, not total positive charges, but this ion charges, they should be equal, so that electric field is contained in this region W. So for that, this depletion region has to extend. So this depletion region extends over here, so that now the total, not total, positive charges is equal to now the negative charges on the depletion region. So this is what we discussed, till the last lecture. Now let us continue, or maybe let us carry on with the same discussion here. Now the charge density, right? So one can find out the charge density in this region, okay? And also the charge density in this region. We understand the doping concentration is Nd here in n type and Na per centimeter cube in p type. Okay. So charge density in the depletion region can be found. So the charge density for this region would be simply charge multiplied by the doping concentration. Right? So that is charge Q multiplied by the doping concentration Nd. Since this is the charge density of ionic charges, so I'll use Nd plus over here. Similarly, the charge density in the region towards the p side, that is this region. So this can be written by simply multiplying charge. So since this time it is negative charge, so I'll write minus Q multiplied by the acceptor concentration. So that is Na. And since it is ionic charge, so I'll simply write Na minus. Right. So these would be the charge densities in these two regions. Right? Charge density in this region and charge density in this region. So then a plot of charge density versus position inside the semiconductor can be plotted. So for example here, the charge density has been plotted across with X, and we find that and then these 2 points also we mark over here, that is Xn naught, this one, and X minus Xp naught. So I mark this is my X is equal to 0 point, and this one is Xn 0, and this is minus Xp 0. That is the depletion regions on the P side and N side. So the charge density on the N side is Qnd. I mark this point. I write Qnd plus is the charge density, and the charge density here is minus Qna on the P side. Now from the charge density, one can find out the total number of charges in this area. This is a small area. One can find out the total charges. Okay. So the total charges can be found by simply multiplying this area by the charge density in this area. Right. Now this area is obviously equal to Xn naught multiplied by this dimension. Right. Let us say this dimension is thickness T. Okay. So I have area of this region. I call it, let's say, Axn naught is the area towards the N-type region. Similarly, area of depletion region towards the P-type region is, let us say, Axp naught. Okay. So to find out the total charges in this region, that is towards the N side, I'll simply multiply this area by the charge density, that is Qnd. So I can multiply this area by Qnd, and this gives me the total positive charges on the N side. Maybe Q plus here I can write total positive charges on the N side. That is this side, right? This area. So I can write this over here. That is total positive charges is equal to charge multiplied by charge density multiplied by the area of this. Similarly, total negative charges in this region towards the P side. So that can be written by the area of this region, which is Axp naught multiplied by the charge density Qna, okay, or Na minus. Okay. So one can write either Nd or Nd minus or Na or Na minus, right? So since we have assumed that Nd is equal to Na, 100% ionization case, Nd is equal to Nd minus and Na is equal to Na minus. So either you can write Nd here or Nd minus, or maybe Na or Na minus, right? So both are same. So we have found now the total charges, okay, in the depletion region on the N side also and the P side also. So now this we will require while calculating the current. So that is why we have calculated here. Now our next job is to find out the electric field E in this region. Built-in potential we have found. So we have found a relationship of built-in potential with the doping concentrations. Yesterday we had found. Now the next job is to find out the same relation for electric field in this region. Okay. And then we also want to find out the width of this depletion region, W, again in terms of the doping concentration. Then we also want to find out this XP naught and XN naught. Okay, that is the width of the depletion region on the P and N side. So separately we want to find out these four things, that is electric field, then W, and then minus XP naught and XN naught, that is width of the depletion region on P and N side, right? So for that, let us again copy the same picture I have copied, and this picture I have copied here again once again. Now let us find out the electric field in this region. Okay, so we want to find out now the electric field distribution in this region. Maybe I'll select another ink. Okay. Now let us start from Gauss's law. Right. So if you remember the Gauss's law, which says that the flux due to an electric field of a closed surface is proportional to the charges which are present in that closed surface. Right. So I have a closed surface from which the flux lines are coming out, right, due to an electric field, and these flux lines are proportional to the charge enclosed by this surface. Right. So that is actually Gauss's law. So one can write the differential form of Gauss law, if you remember, by saying del dot D is equal to rho V. Rho is volume charge density. Right. So this is Gauss's law in differential form, where D is epsilon E. So one can replace this D by epsilon E. So we have another relation, del dot epsilon E is rho V, right? Or maybe if I bring this epsilon E down over here, so this becomes L dot E is rho V by epsilon. Okay. Divergence of E is equal to rho V by epsilon. Okay. Epsilon is again the permittivity of the conductor. Okay. Now this can further be written, okay, in this form. Okay. That is d by dx of Ex. We want to find out actually Ex, that is E electric field variation with respect to the position inside the semiconductor. So this can be replaced. We can say d by dx of Ex, that is the electric field will change with x, and for rho V, so this is charge density. Okay. So charge density we had calculated, which is QND plus in the n-type region and QNA minus in the p-type region. Okay. That is, in these two regions we have calculated the charge density already. Okay. So we'll replace this charge density by these two. In fact, if the total, if we write the space charge neutrality equation, that is total charges, total positive charges should be equal to total negative charges. Okay. The space charge neutrality. Okay. So total positive charges means P plus ND plus. So this was total positive charges. So that should be equal to total negative charges, that is N plus Na minus. Total positive charges is equal to total negative charges if we apply this in this transition region or depletion region. Okay. And remembering that if I multiply this by Q, so this gives me total charge density. Okay. In fact, if I bring this here over here, so this becomes P plus ND minus N minus Na minus. Right. And then if I multiply this with the charges, so it becomes the total charge density across this junction. So which has been done over here. Right. That is, this charge density has been replaced by saying total positive charges is equal to total negative charges, okay, and then multiplied by the actual charge. So this gives me the total charge density across the junction. Now this charge density assumes that you also have carrier, that is this P and N, which is appearing over here, right? So ND and Na, so these are fine. We already have these ions in the depletion region, in these two, okay? But these two terms, that is P and N over here, right? So this assumes that you have carriers also in this region, which we already said that they cannot exist because of electric field, which will sweep any carrier which comes in, okay, which comes near the transition region, any carrier which comes, so that will be swept away by this electric field. So you cannot have any carrier inside this region, right? So that means if we go by that approximation, we'll have to make this term 0. So let us assume that P minus N is 0. Okay. So if P minus N is 0, we are left with only ND plus minus Na minus, right? That is, one can write dE by dx is equal to, so one can write dE by dx is equal to Q by epsilon ND plus and minus Q by epsilon Na minus. So we are left with this equation with us for electric field in this region. Okay. Now this tells me that obviously we have two regions, okay, where electric field exists. One is this region and the other one is this region, right? So electric field in this region, let's say this region, that is where the donor ion is present, okay. So that electric field is this Q by epsilon ND plus electric field in this region. Okay. Similarly, electric field in the region where acceptor ions are present, so that is this electric field. Okay. And these two electric fields, these in fact you will see that the electric field in this region is positive, right? This is positive, and electric field in this region is negative, right? So what is positive and negative here means that the electric field changes, in fact increases when X is increased in this case, right? So electric field increases when X is increased, but in this case the electric field decreases when X is increased. So by considering these two things, that is, let us rewrite these two things over here, that is the electric field due to the donor ions, region of donor ions, again one can write ND minus and Na minus, electric field due to donor ions in the region X greater than 0, okay, X greater than 0 and less than Xn naught. Similarly, electric field in the acceptor region, which is given by this, is minus Q by epsilon Na minus, and this exists where? In this region, that is X is greater than minus Xp naught and less than 0. And in these two regions, we see that we have two slopes. One is positive, that is positive slope, that is electric field increases with increase in X, and one has negative slope, right? So this one has negative slope, since the electric field would decrease when we increase X. Okay. So by considering this, one can plot the electric field versus X, which has been plotted over here. Okay. And before that, before plotting this, let us also understand here that since the electric field is originating at this point, okay, so that means electric field is essentially 0 at this point, okay, and electric field is terminating at this point. Okay. So that means here also electric field should be 0, right? So electric field always originates at the positive charges and terminates at the negative charges. So it originates here, initially its value is 0 and finally its value is also 0. So that means within this region itself, this electric field will attain some maximum value. Okay. Now that maximum value is, let us say, E naught. So let us say E naught is the maximum electric field's value which is attained in this region. Okay. Now, obviously, it will be maximum at some point in this region. So what will be that point? So electric field will be maximum at, so this is very important to note, that the electric field will be maximum at the junction itself. That is, at this point, you will see that electric field is maximum, which is equal to, let us say, E naught at the junction itself, right? So why it is so? Why it is, maximum only at the junction? So that is because all field lines which are originating from positive terminal, right? So all field lines which are originating from positive terminal, so they are crossing or passing through the junction point. So since all field lines are crossing or passing through this line, so therefore at this point the strength of electric field will be highest, or maximum electric field will be observed here itself, because all field lines are crossing this point. Okay. So let us say that maximum value of electric field is E naught. Okay. Now considering this relation, and also understanding that electric field will be maximum, that is E naught at the junction, one can draw the electric field distribution profile inside the junction. Okay. So again, for plotting this, we mark 2 points over here, xn naught and minus xp naught. Okay. The difference between these two gives me the width of the depletion region. Okay. Then one can draw, one can measure E naught over here. In fact, E naught we have not calculated. We will calculate E naught mathematically. Okay. Let us say we know E naught has some value. What is that value? We will calculate very soon. Right. So let us say E naught we mark, okay, and then we connect these 2 points. Okay. So we have a electric field distribution profile inside this junction. Okay. So which is actually a triangular form. Okay. Now this electric field distribution tells me that in the entire depletion region, the electric field is negative, right? So electric field is negative inside this depletion region or space charge region. Okay. And the electric field is increasing when you move away from this point, that is 0 to xn naught. The electric field is increasing, so it has a positive slope. And when you are moving from this point xp naught towards 0, that is again x is increasing, but the slope is negative, that is electric field is decreasing. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Now let us try to find out, this electric field E naught, that is maximum electric field. Okay. So what is that? So let us try to find out. Okay, let us try to find out the maximum value of electric field, which actually appears at the junction itself, right? That is E naught. Let us try to find out. Okay. So for finding out E naught, we can utilize this equation. Either this equation you can utilize, or you can utilize this equation. Any of these two equations one can utilize to find out the strength of the maximum electric field which is appearing at the junction, right? Let us say we utilize this equation. Okay. So we are simply just copying this on the next page, that is dE by dx is q by epsilon nd. Okay. So here dE by dx is q by epsilon nd. Dx I have taken it over here. Okay. And now one has to integrate, since we want to find out electric field in this region. So obviously one has to integrate the electric field. Okay. So, and this relation was for x is greater than 0 and less than xn naught, right? So that is in this region we are talking about, right? So that is, we are talking about finding out the electric field in this region, Now, what is the electric field at this point? What is the value of electric field is this point? At this point, it is how much? So as I said that it will originate from here. So that means it will start from 0 and it will terminate here. So it will end also at 0. So that means at this point, that is xn 0, the electric field is 0. and at this point we have already assumed it is E naught. Okay, so one can set the limits of this integral, that is dE, right? So dE will be E naught to 0 when x is increasing, right? So dE is E naught to 0 when x increases from 0 to xn naught. So when x increases from 0 to xn naught, that is x is increasing from 0 to xn naught, E is E naught to 0. Right? So this is my limit of this integral. Okay? So when I integrate this, and similarly one can also write again, this one also, the other equation, that is this one. So one can write d by dx is minus q by epsilon na in this limit of x. Okay? So one can write this also here, and similarly one can set the limits of the integration over here. Okay? So again, let us set the limits of this integration when x is increasing from minus xp naught to 0. Okay? So x is increasing from minus xp naught to 0. So it is x is increasing from minus xp naught to 0. So e is how much? 0 to e naught. So e is 0 to e naught. Okay? So these two integrals we have, and limits also now we have. Okay? So from this, maybe let us say from this one, and also from this one. Okay? So if I integrate this, so this will be simply how much? So this will be how much? This will be minus E naught is equal to Q by epsilon nd xn naught. Okay, and this will be how much? E naught is equal to minus Q by epsilon na and times xp naught, right? And these two are equal. Right? So this gives me E naught is equal to, that is the maximum electric field which is appearing at the junction. So that is equal to minus q by epsilon nd times xn naught, which is also equal to minus q by epsilon na times xp naught. Right? So this relation now I have. Okay? Now I also understand that some time back we had studied this relation, that is electric field has a relation with electrostatic potential. Okay? So Ex, that is electric field, is equal to minus d by dx of Vx, electrostatic potential. Okay? And Vx is actually the potential in this region, okay? Which also changes with x, and we had one can find out now Vx or the built-in potential V naught from this. So in fact from here one can write this, that is the built-in potential is equal to minus xp naught to xn naught. Okay, so electric field in this region, minus xp naught to xn naught ex dx, right? So one can write the built-in potential as this. Okay. Now minus xp naught to xn naught ex, so which is actually giving me this triangle. Okay. So this triangular area, if I calculate, so that will give me what? It will give me this term. Okay. So this triangular, this integral, this actually tells me that the outcome is the area of this triangle. Okay. So one can find out the area of this triangle, okay, by knowing, this is E naught and this is W. So what would be the area of this triangle?
Half W into maximum EMF, maximum electric field E naught.
Correct, great. So this is half W into E naught. Okay, and since we have minus over here, so we bring this minus over here. Okay? So this becomes V naught is equal to, okay, since I bring this minus over here, so this becomes V naught, that is electrostatic potential at the junction, is equal to minus half E naught times W. Okay? And E naught we have already calculated here. So E naught could be either this or this. So I can put E naught into this equation. So this now becomes, electrostatic potential now becomes equal to 1 by 2 q by epsilon nd xn naught W. Okay. Now from here we have to find out now the E naught also, and then we have to also find out this XP naught, XN naught, and W also, this W, in terms of the doping concentration, right? So how do we do this? Okay. Now for this, in fact, from here itself, this equation, maybe I'll rub everything. Yeah. So from this equation, so if you equate this, so this goes off Q by epsilon, this also goes off, minus also goes off. We are left with this relation, NdXn naught is equal to NaXp naught. Okay. So that is what we have written over here. NdXn naught is equal to NaXp naught. Or one can do what is that one can equate these two charges, that is this positive charge is equal to the negative charge. So from this also one can find out, I mean, if these two are equated, again Q is gone over here, okay, and then area is equal to maybe area of this, if I say, so this length, this dimension is, let us say, thickness T, so this becomes T times Xn naught times Nd. So similarly this one, so this becomes T times Xp naught, okay, times Na. Okay. So T goes off. Okay. If I equate the total positive charges is equal to total negative charges, so this also goes off, and we are left with the same equation, that is Xp naught Na is equal to Xn naught Nd. That is this one, right? So from here also, and from equating these two charges also, we get the same relation, right? So this is important for us. Then the next relation which is important for us is W. So this W is equal to how much? This much, that is Xn naught minus Xp naught, that is Xn naught plus Xp naught is equal to W, right? So I write W is equal to Xn naught plus Xp naught. So these two relations are now important for us. We'll utilize these two relations to find out the maximum electric field which is appearing at the junction. Okay. Okay. Now from this relation, that is W is Xn naught plus Xp naught. One can find out Xn naught from here, right? So I can find Xn naught. Maybe I'll take another slide here. So Xn naught can be written as W minus Xp naught. Okay. So I'll go back and show you again. W is Xn naught plus Xp naught. So Xn naught will be equal to W minus Xp naught. So that is what I have written over here, right? So Xn naught is equal to W minus Xp naught. Okay. Then from here one can so from here then one can find out W. So W can be found from here again. So one can write W is equal to, or not here W, let us say that this is W minus Xp naught, and then from this relation, that is this relation, right? So from this relation I can write Xn naught. So Xn naught will be equal to how much? Xp naught times Na divided by Nd, right? So I can write Xn0 is equal to Xp naught Na divided by Nd. So let me write here. Xn naught is equal to, right? So this Xn naught is equal to Xp naught Na divided by Nd. So Xp naught Na divided by Nd. So I have this relation now. So from this I can find out W. So W is how much then? W is, I'll simply take this Xp naught on the right hand side. So W becomes or maybe before that one can also assume okay, just a second, this is Xp naught. Yeah, so W becomes Xp naught if I take over here, and I take Xp naught as common also. So this becomes Na by Nd plus 1, right? So Na by Nd plus 1. Okay. So W I have now in terms of the doping concentration. Okay, but XP naught is again not known to me, so I'll have to consider this XP naught also. Okay. Now XP naught one can find from maybe from here itself. XP naught is Xn naught Nd by Na. Just a second. So what do we have here? W is XP naught Na by Nd plus 1 into XP naught. Okay. Yeah, so now let us further write this as W is equal to XP naught times, we have this is XP naught times 1 by Nd, and then here we have Na plus Nd. Okay. So I have W is equal to XP naught Na plus Nd by this thing, right? Or from here one can write XP naught. So one can write XP naught is equal to W divided by W times Nd divided by Na plus Nd. Okay. So XP naught I have now, right? So that is this part. I know that how much is this depletion region, 0 to XP naught, right? So XP naught now I know. So that is equal to W times Nd divided by Na plus Nd. Okay. So from if I put this XP naught value here in this equation, right? So if I put XP naught over here, so I'll get Xn naught, right? So I have the value of XP naught in terms of W and the doping concentration, right? So if I put this XP naught here, I'll get Xn naught, right? So if I do that, so I'll get Xn naught is equal to W times Na divided by Na plus Nd. So now I also have the depletion region width on the N side. So both I have now, right? So I have found both these things, that is the width of the depletion region on P side also and the width of the depletion region on N side also. Okay. And W also we have calculated. Okay. So W is we have calculated here. W is this much. Okay. So now one can put this relation in this one, where it is here, this one, okay. So one can put this relation over here, that is here we require either Xn naught we require over here. So Xn naught we can put from here in this relation. Okay. So this will give me E naught. Okay. We wanted to find out the maximum electric field, so which can be found if I put Xn naught in this equation. So Xn naught we already have now here. So this Xn naught is now having only three terms, that is doping concentrations and W. So this can be put over here, okay, to find out E naught in terms of W and NAND. Okay. So if I do that, I get a relationship which is this. That is, I get V naught is equal to half Q by epsilon NAND by Na plus Nd W square. Yeah, simply Xn naught I have put from here. Xn naught is Wna by Na plus Nd, and W is already existing in the numerator here, so it becomes W square, and this becomes NAND by Na plus Nd. Okay. Or one can write W from here. Okay. So W one can calculate, so that comes out to be equal to this much. Okay. Then from this one can find out the E naught. Of course it is there, we have found out E naught, so need not to mention it again. E naught will be simply V naught by W. Okay, that is, if you divide by W and also multiplied by 2, so you will find E naught. Then the next thing is, we again write the previous old equation which we had calculated for the built-in field. That is, built-in field across the junction is equal to KT by Q ln Na Nd by Ni square. So this we had calculated. Where we had calculated, I'll show you again. Previous lecture we had calculated over here. So I utilize the same equation. That is, built-in potential is equal to KT by Q ln Na Nd by Ni square. Okay. And I put this in here, W. Right? So W has V naught. So I put V naught over here in this equation. So this equation modifies and this turns into this now. And XP naught and XN naught we have already calculated. Right? We have already calculated XP naught and XN naught. So need not have to again calculate. Right? And then of course this can further be rearranged and written in this form. So all these parameters are now known to me. That is, XP naught is also known, XN naught known, W also known. Then the electric field E naught is also known, V naught is also known. So everything is now known to me. So now what is left is, we now need to calculate the current across the junction. So everything is known to us now. So we want to now calculate the current across the junction. And before that, maybe let me check what is the time. Okay, we have time. Now let us talk about the current flow across the junction. As we know now all the parameters in the PN junction. So we want to calculate it now, the current through the junction. Okay. Now for calculating the current across the junction, again we bring back the same concept over here. That is, I have a junction over here and then this is my depletion region. Okay. Now if I try to apply a bias across this junction, right? So let us say I try to apply a bias across this junction. Now since we have assumed that P and N type regions, these are neutral, right? So that means there will be no voltage drop across these two regions. So that means this entire voltage drop will be across the junction itself. That is, across the junction. Okay. So this drop will be across the junction. Since these two regions we have considered are neutral, that is, no potential drop across these two regions. Okay. Now why these two regions would be neutral? Okay. So why these two regions would be neutral? We had assumed, since I told you in the last lecture that we assume that the PN junction is one dimensional. That is, the length and thickness, they are small compared to the area. Okay. So length is small and area is more than the length, okay, of the junction or the thickness of the junction. And resistance of this region, if I try to calculate, so that will be equal to rho L by A. Okay. Or maybe this is L, let's say capital L. And if area is more, then obviously resistance will be small. Okay. So that means these two regions have small resistances. Okay. So these two regions have small resistance. Now if it has small resistance, so obviously voltage drop will also be small or negligible. Right. So voltage drop will be small or negligible, let us say. So there will be some small drop, and let us say that that drop is negligible because it has small resistance. Okay. Since these two regions are very large in area compared to the length. Okay. So the drop across these two regions are negligible. So that is why we say that whatever bias we apply to this PN junction, so that entire bias appears across the junction. Okay. That is at this point. Now, this resistance of the two regions, this also depends upon the doping concentration. Okay. So resistance also depend upon the doping concentration, and we understand why we dope a semiconductor. So why we dope a semiconductor? Let me ask a question. So why do we dope a semiconductor?
To increase conductivity.
Correct. So we want to make it conductive.
Charge carries conjugation.
Correct. So we want to make it conductive. Otherwise, it is intrinsic, right? So we want to make it more conductive. So we want to dope it. Heavily doped region will create more conductivity. So that means small resistivity, right? So conductivity is more. So conductivity and resistivity, these both are inversely proportional. So if this is high, so obviously this will go low, resistivity, right? And we are doping these two regions. That is why we are doping either heavily doped these will be or moderately doped, okay? So that the resistance of these two regions are small, so that there is no drop across these two regions. Okay? So the resistance depends on both the doping and the area. So area is also large. Okay. Now let us move on from here. And now let us discuss what happens when the bias is applied across the junction. So in the case when there is no bias applied, let us draw here. So the case when, and let us also assume that both sides are uniformly doped and the doping concentrations are also equal, right? So that the junction widths are also equal on both the sides. Okay? And let us say we don't apply any bias. So this is open. So this is in equilibrium. Okay? So we understood that in equilibrium the potential profile will you will have some built-in potential which is V naught, okay? And then you will also have the energy band diagrams where you can check the barrier. Okay, so the barrier would be there. So this is my barrier over here in the energy band diagram, QV naught. Okay, maybe my Fermi level would be here. Okay, now how this changes when you apply a bias, right? So let us consider I apply now a forward bias. Let us say I apply a forward bias by connecting positive end of the battery terminal to P side and negative end of the terminal to the N side. Okay. Okay. Let us say that we apply. Okay. Now when we apply bias over here, okay, so the effect of this bias would be that you are trying to inject more holes from here, right? So this would be equivalent to saying that we are trying to inject more holes now into P side. And let us say that initially at equilibrium the depletion region was like this, okay, same as this one at equilibrium. So obviously this will also change. How it will change, so that we want to understand. So let us say that bias is applied. So when the bias is applied, so that is analogous to saying that the holes are injected into this, okay? And similarly from the negative terminal the electrons are injected into the n-type material. Now we had already said that we have a depletion region here because of diffusion of carriers, and now we are inserting more holes into the p-type region, right? And we said that this depletion region on this p side, so this was created because of holes leaving the p side. Now holes are entering the p side, okay? So obviously one would say that since holes are entering, so this depletion region should be now small. It should shrink because the holes are entering now. They are not leaving. Because they were leaving, so I had this depletion region. So now when the holes are entering, so this should shrink. Why it should shrink? Again, one can relate that to the space charge neutrality, that is total positive charges should be equal to the total negative charges, right? That is P, what we had here, total positive charges is equal to total negative charges. We had written here this one, that is P minus N plus Nd minus Na. Right? So this should hold true across this entire device also. Right? That is P plus Na, or maybe P plus Na, not Nd plus, sorry, P plus Nd plus is equal to, if I bring it over here, so that will be a minus N minus Na minus. Right? So this space charge neutrality principle, so this should be applicable across the entire device also. Right? Now since holes are entering from here, so obviously that means this term is increasing, okay, in the device. Now to counterbalance increase in hole, because this has to be constant, okay, this has to be constant since this is increasing. So the charges, positive charges towards the P side, so they should be reduced. Okay? No, not positive charges. Positive charges we have over here. Okay, so these are negative charges. So these are negative charges. Right, correct. Yeah, so in fact these are entering when, so obviously this should be reduced. Similarly, when electrons are entering from this side, so the depletion region should shrink at the N side also, okay, so that the space charge neutrality principle is maintained across the junction. Right. Now, since we see now here that the depletion region has shrinked, here it was more in the equilibrium. Now when you apply a forward bias, it is less. So obviously that means electric field will also be now small across the junction. That is, the equilibrium electric field has changed. Now equilibrium electric field was, let us say, E naught or maybe E. So now it is E dash, and this electric field now has changed its value from the equilibrium value. Okay. So that means the diffusion of carriers will start happening from P to N and N to P. Okay. Because we have disturbed the equilibrium of this junction by applying a bias across this junction. Right? So this equilibrium of this is disturbed. Now you have an electric field profile which is different from the equilibrium electric field, and also the built-in potential across this junction. So this will also decrease because of the shrinking in the depletion region. Okay. So that means the total built-in potential should decrease. Okay. So the total built-in potential profile can also be drawn then. So it has reduced now. So one can draw it. Okay. So we have a reduced electric, not electric, it is a potential across the junction. So that is reduced now. Okay. Now since we are applying a positive, positive terminal of the battery at P side and negative terminal on the N side, so energy bands will also change. That is, this positive terminal will push the energy band on the P side, and negative terminal will pull up. So this will push down, and this will push up the energy bands on the N side. So let us say that now for positive terminal, the energy bands toward the P side, so they are pushed down. So now since they are pushed down, so obviously I will draw it somewhere here. Right? So earlier they were, let us say, no, I will have to draw it over here. So earlier it was here at this level on the P side. It was at this level. Now since positive terminal has been attached, so this will push down the energy bands on the P side. So they have been pushed. So now my EC is over here and EV is also here. Similarly, the negative, this one. So this will pull up the, this thing, the energy bands towards the N side. So energy bands toward the N side were earlier here. So they will be pulled up. That is, it lies now, let us say, over here. And here also it is pulled. So let us say that from here, it lies somewhere here. It is pulled up, and then in the transition region, we just simply connect these two lines. Okay, so now I see that the energy barrier, which was earlier this much, from here to here it was, right? QV naught. It was from here to here, QV naught. Now it has shrunken, and now it is only this much. That is, energy barrier has reduced. So energy barrier has reduced, so that means obviously diffusion of carriers, that is diffusion of electrons from N to P, and diffusion of holes from P to N. So that will again start. So it was happening here also, but because of this barrier, the electrons and holes were finding difficulty to cross the barrier. But now since the barrier is small, so this is modified barrier. Now since the barrier is small, electrons can easily diffuse towards P side. Similarly, holes can easily diffuse towards N side. So maybe I'll stop over here. If you have any queries, then please ask, and then maybe we can start from here in the next lecture. Or maybe you can see this picture. This is more clear. Yeah, so if you have any queries, then maybe you can put on.
सर जो आपने चार्ज डेंसिटी का प्लॉट बनाया था उसमें एक्स प्लॉट वाला रीजन वाइडर क्यों था?
Just a second. So charge density plot, that is this one.
यस सर, ये बी वाला.
Okay.
यस सर, ये एक्स पी नॉट वाला रीजन वाइडर क्यों है एक्स एन नॉट से?
So this space you are saying why it is wider. Just a second. Let me select a pointer over here.
यस सर.
Okay. So why this is wider over here, right? This is small and this is wide, na?
यस सर.
So this actually corresponds to, in fact, it should have been drawn over here. I mean, this is not matching the depletion region width actually. It has shifted somewhat to the left side. So this matches the depletion region. So these charges are contained within this depletion region. So XP naught is over here. Okay. So 0 to XP naught is more than 0 to XN naught. Since this side is heavily doped and whichever side is lightly doped, the transition region or depletion region will penetrate more into it. So since this is more, okay, so that is why there is a difference in the the areas covered by these charges, right? So this is just X, position X, position across the semiconductor, and position is this XP naught and XN naught. So that is what is marked over here, XP naught and XN naught.
Okay.
Any other queries? Yeah, if you have any other query, you can ask, because I think Monday you have your exams, right?
सर
Not
एग्जाम के
Monday, I
रिगार्डिंग
think from 26th. Yeah, so any other query, please ask.
सर कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन एग्जाम के रिगार्डिंग क्वेश्चंस कितने आएंगे?
I think there will be 5 questions, and I think one of them would be a numerical problem. So any other
लेंदी तो नहीं होएगा ना तो ज्यादा?
can you repeat?
लेंदी तो नहीं होएगा ना ज्यादा?